I was thinking about street names. I was thinking, mine is stinking boring. Mine's like, not street name, but like a rap name. Like I'm like B to the Ryan. Yours is totally cool. J to the S-A. Hey guys, this is Brian.
This is Jesse.
You're watching MMA the hard way in the car. And we are dedicating this entire episode to our recap of UFC 153 in Rio.
Say what you want, it lived up. It was good.
Man, yeah.
It was good.
It's so funny, whenever anyone does their one sentence soundbite of what they think an event is going to be, it's always just all they talk about is the main event. Oh, Silva Bonner. Dude, look how many fights there were. I mean, there were a ton of fights. So you have to look at the card as a whole. And man, I gotta say, it delivered every single fight. There wasn't one boring fight, I don't think. You had some boos here and there, but I mean, when the people were clinching. But I gotta say, the thing I think the overall thing I was thinking about was that it was a showcase in submissions and good old-fashioned Brazilian beatdowns.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I did notice that when, for example, when Fitch was up against the fence and they were booing, as soon as they transitioned to the ground, it got quiet and they started cheering. Like the audience knew what was going on. They were not uneducated. They were up on it.
Imagine, fighting is such an integral part of it's one of the most popular sports.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously now, Anderson Silva is, I can't even think of an athlete that has the same American stature as him. Maybe when the Pats were in the middle of their dynasty, Tom Brady or something, but not even that.
I think
he's way beyond that.
I think he's getting
almost like Michael Jordan stat.
I think he's getting to the point where he's, already surpassed Pele, the famous soccer player.
Yeah.
It's just he can't go nowhere without the throngs following him. He's all over the place.
So how about we go down the card? How about we start from the first one on up?
Okay. Where there's Cristiano Marcelo races.
That was the only one. It went to the judges, and I'm pretty sure the judges got that wrong.
Robbery.
Because I watched Marcelo basically just he was outstruck for 2 rounds, and then all of a sudden, he was showing some heart because he was trying to attack, and you could tell the fans were cheering for him in the third round, but that ain't enough.
Yeah, I don't know which reporter it was that reported. I was reading a little blurb over the weekend. They were saying that one should have went the other way. It should have went the other way. The next one was Lewis Kane and Kamosi.
Yeah, Kamosi. I think he just he outworked him.
Yeah.
And it was just that came down to cardio. I think. Just a tough weight cut, I guess.
The next one was Sergio Morales versus Rene Forte.
Yeah, last time in Rio, everybody thought, oh, this is a guy. He's gonna
next big thing.
Yeah, and I think he just needed to. I think we're gonna see good things from him. We did. Again, submission master, and it happened.
Now the next one was really interesting. Brian Dow and Gambino. That one was a slugfest. It was going back and forth.
Gosh, I know that Gambino was he wasn't favored. But
he stood
in Brazil.
Yeah.
He was bringing it. And it was good, and it was a real test. Like, okay, let's see if you're a one-hit wonder, Mr. Brandao. Yeah.
Well, Brandao kind of reminded me a couple times of Pride Vanderlei Silva with some of those slugs he was throwing.
Yeah.
And he was getting irate at one point, like, come on, dude, let's do this. Like what Anderson Silva did with
he's legit.
Yeah. And then there was Gleison Tibau and Trinaldo. That was a really good fight. At one point, Tibau was on roller skates.
Yeah.
And he just persevered. That experience paid off.
Boy, that was exactly. I think it was just him showing, hey, I'm a veteran.
Yeah.
I know how to win. And I'm amazed that guy with that much muscle mass
he's
was able
big.
to just go. And a lot of those ATT guys are just big like that. I think that it's it must be some sort of cultural thing with the guys in Coconut Creek. Weightlifting, or I think there's probably just a group of those guys that are into weights, because that's when you usually see those kind of muscles from guys that are.
He doesn't have the typical slender
using weights, and I just don't think that weightlifting is needed in MMA training.
He doesn't have the typical slender athletic look. He's got this bodybuilder, almost like a bodyguard look.
You see guys like Anderson Silva. He does not look like he lifts any weights at all, and he has like a killer physique for fighting. So we better.
And then Becerra versus San Cecilia. That was a really good fight. You know,
Cecilia. That kid is gonna get knocked out. I mean, he just coming in like guns blazing, but he keeps his hands down.
Yeah, he keeps his hands down. He's got to keep those hands up. Then there was Damian Maia versus Rick Starr. That was just a jiu-jitsu clinic.
My goodness.
Maia went back to his bread and butter.
Yeah.
He went back to his bread. His striking's gotten a lot better. But he went back to his bread and butter, which makes sense. And it wasn't a boring fight. It was a damn good fight.
I mean, if he goes up against a guy that's got super great takedown defense, good. You could now. He should obviously continue to focus on his striking. It's like he doesn't even have to really work on his grappling. Because it's like that's so muscle memory.
I consider him what Joe Rogan. He's a specialist. He's just a specialist.
He's a very, like Joe has said, and not just a specialist, but like a special person.
Yes.
There's some aspects of his jiu-jitsu game you can't even teach that.
It's
beautiful to watch.
It's like almost like art, like watching a waterfall. It just flows without any transitional type of glitches or whatever. It just flows. The next one was Phil Davis versus Prado.
Oh boy, yep, we got
Anaconda.
to see that play out.
Yeah,
the eye poke, and they were making fun at the weigh-ins, with the thing like that, and Phil Davis as well. He could strike. He could strike, but he saw the
opening, took it.
And gosh, he's one of the best guys at adapting wrestling for MMA.
Yes.
And his transitions and the way we've seen him do it. He goes, we're going to call that a Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think we're going to see nothing more but good stuff. I am such a huge fan.
I like the way he fights too. He puts on a show, and you could see an improvement from each and every fight. You could see an improvement. Then there was John Fitch versus Eric Silva. That was a really good fight.
Yeah, I'm telling you. When it first started, I was thinking, oh boy, Eric Silva's going to be the guy.
Yes.
He's going to be the guy that's going to finish Fitch, and it's going to be the beginning of the end. Dude, I've been a John Fitch fan for like at least 4 or 5 years. I've been with him. I've stuck with him through the boring decisions and everything, just because I think he's fantastic. And he's only been finished a couple times, and it's like, I was just so glad to see him get a submission.
And you know what? And he literally just didn't go to the lay and pray like people always gripe about. He's got a game plan. He executes it perfectly. People might not like it, but he gets the W. And it's not as boring as people think. When people start, when I'm with a crowd and we're watching UFC fight, and we're watching fight, they start, this and that. I'm like, you know what? Let's see you get in the ring and do the same thing. It's not as easy as.
I would love to see him though, if he was to really focus, because he puts his energy into everything he does. He was walk-on at Purdue, becomes the captain, and everyone said it's well documented that he became captain not through talent, through hard work. If he was to put the hard work in and understand how to put 2 and 3 shot combinations together, really legit,
he would be unstoppable.
He would really, he would have enough to make people pay attention, and he's just right there.
I still see another title run for him. I really do.
Yeah,
I see another title run for him. Then there was Glover and Fabio. That was man.
I tell you, that was the one. The rest of them, I was in living room mode. That was the one where I sat up and I was on the edge of my seat.
Me too. And I know somewhere Rampage was watching that fight. I know he was watching that fight somewhere. Wherever Rampage was at, he was like, okay, hold on, people, I got to see this fight. He was paying attention. Then, Nogueira and Herman, very good fight. And you know what? I think
You know,
Hard.
you gotta respect Nogueira.
Nogueira, I think he wanted to win by submission and submission only to basically put a stamp on, hey, I'm still a submission specialist.
Yeah.
What happened with Mir was a fluke. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a rematch down the line. You never know. But that was a really, really good fight.
I can completely see that fight, the Mir rematch happening, because, I mean, he's got the stitches.
Yeah.
The plate is in there.
And the Wizard was held on. He was holding that Wizard. That puts a lot of strain. And I think I noticed that once he got past that strain with the Wizard, I think you could see more of a reassurance in his face. Like, you know what, my arm's not going to break again.
The guy
it's good
is
to go.
just such an unbelievable champion. I mean,
he's got heart.
The way that Anderson and him, the relationship they have, the dozens and dozens of fighters that have been trained under his, wise tutelage.
That's all I hear all the time. I want to thank Nogueira.
We got to see some insight into that in Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
I gained so much respect for him when you got to see who he really was. He's such a gentle, wise, almost like fatherly type of guy,
And one thing I've read is that he's very patient with his when he's giving someone a clinic, as they say. He's very patient. He literally makes someone repeat the move over and over and over again to where you that phrase you say, it becomes like muscle memory,
Yeah.
basically. And then of course Anderson Silva, Bonner.
Oh gosh, it kind of played out the way I thought it would. You think about it. Everybody was, they probably had to have the meeting on, okay, how do we pitch this?
Exactly.
Well, he's never been finished.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's something.
Yeah.
If he goes for it every time, oh, there's something. I mean, that's what I was thinking. Joe, God bless Joe Rogan, but man, that guy could pitch,
heavy marketing.
anything.
Heavy marketing.
He could make anything sound
but you know
like
what?
something you
It
wanna
was
watch.
still a
But
pretty
I
good.
didn't even care. Even if they would have said, this fight's going to suck, I would have gone, I don't care.
No, I mean, anything that involves Anderson Silva, it's like a box of Cracker Jacks.
No.
You never know what you're gonna get in that little surprise
It's like,
package.
it's not, is he going to finish him? It's
It's
like,
like,
let's
how?
see.
How is he gonna finish?
I was joking to my friends. I was saying that he's just thinking, you know what, there's 15 different types of finishes I have on my highlight reel. I need to add a new one.
Yeah, let me do a checklist. I was thinking, and somewhere, Chael sounds like, no, yeah, oh, I know how that feels.
Yeah. So he's going up against a guy that couldn't beat Forrest twice, and of course we know what he did to Forrest. So what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean,
What does Bonner?
I mean, you know what? I mean, Silva just standing
But
next to the
standing there with
and
his
hands down and just literally
like
ducking him, just moving and swaying. I saw a clip of him working out where he's standing next to a wall and they're throwing a ball at him. He's moving.
And when he had to look to his corner and give him the, I got this.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, oh man, what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
He's like an alien, dude. It's like a human versus alien.
I'm surprised that they're not using him in the Matrix 4 movie. I mean, he was just moving and swaying. And I think at one point, Bonner was like, damn,
Yes, he's got to get in your head,
And you know what? Bonner, say what you want. That guy, he gives it 100%. He doesn't.
No love lost. I'm no less a fan.
You know what? He doesn't care if he's bleeding from every orifice in his body. He keeps he keeps on going. And for him to just fall and grab his midsection from that,
I think he was getting caught bouncing off the cage, and it was just this.
It was he got it. He timed it. Anderson Silva timed it just perfect. Where it's like a head-on collision.
Yeah, he truly is like a spider. I mean, his limbs, his legs and his feet. It just there's no everything he does is just.
And you know what
it's almost instinctual.
What I always say to myself is like, I see his body. He doesn't have the rippling body like some of the other MMA fighters, but yet everyone has said it, and I'm sure Bonner will say it when the interview again. He is much stronger than he looks.
Well, he uses his body the right way too.
Yeah.
Is super efficient, and that's Bruce Lee comes back the way Bruce Lee used to talk about. You want to be like water.
You gotta flow.
Yeah.
It's just
whole that thing with the 2-inch punch.
Yeah.
If you move your body the right way.
I read from that. I keep on. I gotta remember this guy's name. The doctor that he always does an MMA. He talks about MMA all the time, like MMA medicine, whatever. He talks about that you could be a very strong fighter. You could have two equally strong fighters, and it's all the way the physics and mechanic of the way the two fighters swing their arms. One fighter could swing his arm just perfect, where all the muscles and bones connect perfect, that when he ends up hitting someone, instant knockout. You could have the exact same muscle physique with another fighter, and if he doesn't throw the arm correct and his arms and bones don't connect together perfectly in that angle, you don't get that knockout. Anderson Silva just has that gift that no matter how he hits you, look at the way he got Forrest Griffin. Forrest Griffin's running, it was the...
That was such a bad beatdown. I was thinking, is this the first time I've actually seen a fixed fight? I mean,
Anderson Silva always makes people look like they're amateurs. Yeah. Not to disrespect the fighters. No means do I mean that. But he's just on another level.
Unbelievable.
They keep on, a while back, a year ago or so, they were talking about Anderson Silva, GSP. I'm sorry. I want to see Anderson Silva, John Jones, because, those are the two forces that I just, the riddle.
Next month, we'll see if the new and improved GSP with his new
GSP 3.0,
and that's gonna tell us a lot, because Condit is, I think, the greatest challenge he's ever come up against. So that's all the time we've got. Please keep subscribe, share this with your friends, email it to your friends, and we'd love to hear your comments. And
thanks for the support.
Yep, we'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.